Hello Facebook ads people, I'm Konstantinos, and today we're going to analyze why the checkouts metric and today we're going to analyze why the checkouts are very important after the iOS changes. So the other day I was having a discussion with one of my students and which I'm consulting and stuff, and we were analyzing CPO optimization. Of course, we were working one-on-one on optimizing some of the campaigns. So what happened is that I told him that, hey, so look at the checkouts. We are having, for example, 5 checkouts, 6 checkouts and 0 purchases. So we will have to be a little bit more flexible. These are things and concepts that we have analyzed in other times in our videos and stuff. And I was explaining more and more why we should do it, that now we have a delayed reporting of 72 hours and stuff. And he had one question, and this is one of the reasons that a very busy person like me is working one-on-one with people with consulting. Of course, it's money related also, but it's not only that, it's that I'm having so much feedback even from your comments on YouTube that it helps me think more why I'm doing things, because in my mind I'm doing some things that I don't really understand why I'm doing them. But when people like you, they come to me and they ask things, so please, if you have any question, throw it on the comments. I'm thinking more and more, and I'm trying to understand why am I doing this, because the way that I work also with a lot of experience by optimizing campaigns, and maybe this is something that I have seen that is working better by optimizing again and again and again, big budgets, big campaigns and stuff. But why we are looking so much on the checkout? And this was the question that the person had. Why are we seeing so much the checkouts, and why the checkouts are not having a delayed reporting of 72 hours? So let me tell you my theory about that. After analyzing it and thinking, why am I telling him this? Why am I doing? Because 72 hours delayed reporting on the United States, and it means that we will have to wait more for the purchase, but why the checkout is being reported immediately? So I came up with this theory. It came to my mind immediately why it's happening. Of course, I cannot prove it, but discussing it with other people that they're doing Facebook ads, they tell me that it has very good possibilities of being that. When we're doing a conversion campaign, we're optimizing for an event. That event in this specific case is the purchases. When we're optimizing for purchases, what does Facebook do? It's taking the purchase, it's taking all of the data, it's finding the person that has done the purchase, and then it's finding another person. We have analyzed in this channel also that Facebook is working like, okay, Konstantinos did a purchase, let's find another person like Konstantinos, and then another person like Konstantinos, and the other person, and so on. My way of thinking is this: if it's taking so much time for Facebook in order to identify the person, because this is what we are asking it to do, we're asking it to take the data and find a similar person. In checkout, it doesn't have the need to do that because we're not optimizing for checkout. So the checkout can go immediately. When it's happening, even if it cannot identify the person with the personal ID that someone has on Facebook, it can just throw immediately the data for the checkout. But for the purchase, it needs to find the person in order to go back, throw the data, and then try to find more and more and more people. Because if it cannot find these people, it's not going to report it at all. So the theory here is this: we are having an event, which is the purchase, and Facebook needs to find more people out of it. So it needs more data. But in the other events, like the add to cart or the checkout, it doesn't need that. Which brings me to question number 2. If we are optimizing for checkouts, is the checkouts going to be delayed reporting on 72 hours and then it's going to try to look for, it's going to report immediately the add to carts? I have tested it, and the answer is yes. It's going to do that. It's going to try to identify the people who did the checkout in order to find more. I could see more delayed reporting, but from what I understand is that the add to cart was reported immediately, and then I would have to watch the add to carts and the checkout. Of course, in my opinion, watching add to carts is not as strong as watching checkouts, because checkout and purchase, they are more close to the end of the funnel. But at the end of the day, what I want you to understand from this video is why we're watching the checkouts and why the delayed reporting is happening only on the purchase event. So, very interesting topic. I really enjoyed having some debates with some people about it. Let me know your opinion about this way of thinking and the approach about checkouts and the purchases. And if you want to learn more about Facebook ads, you can check my book and my free course And until we meet again, guys, be creative and be consistent.